Hello, hello, guys. Happy Saturday. Are we happy today? Saturday couldn't get here soon enough for me. Drop a hello in the chat if you're here and let me know what you're working on. You know, some people are cleaning, some people are crafting, some people are watching TV. Just let me know what you're doing. I'm going to try to print off something while waiting for some more people to pop on. Oh, what am I doing here? I'm looking for my other paper pack. Where is it? Do, 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 do. Card stamps. Yep, there they are. Let's go ahead and print these. I need a new printer. Something Bluetooth at my apartment. Because this old printer is just don't have the space for all these wires, cords, cables to be around. I almost break my neck every day. Let's see if that prints the size I want. Let's see here. Oh, that's not it. I did a little printing last night to make samples for new stencils I added to my Etsy shop. Hey Kayla! Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I made some samples for stencils I just added to my Etsy shop, and I was in such a rush that I want to start doing better about putting out color palettes that I like. So I just quickly scribbled down the names of the paints I used in the samples, and now I think I'm going to go ahead and swatch them out so you guys can see how I do that. I'm going to just remember where I threw that tape. Yes. Okay, I'll just give it some washi. I will tape off. I'll make this right now. Yeah, I have at least probably about 10 of these Strathmore books because I think Hobby Lobby had them on clearance. So I just grabbed a bunch of them. They were, what does this say, $2.62. So I just snatched them up, and I use one for color palettes. I use one to keep my gel prints in. Let's see, I have another one that holds, what was it? I posted a picture on Instagram. Oh, here they are. Art journal. This just has roll-offs in it because at first that's what I was using it for, and I do have pages randomly in here. Well, let's see. There's a page. I thought about taking them out and consolidating them into a regular journal, but then I was like, you know what? Eventually I'll get to filling all these pages. So let me just keep this journal as is. Another page. And work around the journal pages I have in here. So yeah, this is a lot of roll-offs, but 3 journal pages in here. Completed journal pages. So that's a journal. This is another journal. Journal book. I made this page over a year ago. I haven't quite, my mind's still processing this one as to what I want to do with it. So I just stuck it in there. This one is using Dina Wakley's suggestion about stamping out your stamps so that you have them ready when you want to journal. So I've been stamping out stamps slowly but surely. And then I can cut them out and add color to them. It's kind of, I was experimenting with some aqua pencils that I have. And that one. And then, yeah, the gel print and the color palette one. So that's 5 right there. And I have 4 more empty ones sitting on a table right next to me. And I'm pretty sure I have more empty ones somewhere else. So I plan on filling them up with different things. I think the next one that I'm going to fill up is going to be color mixing, because that was another thing that Dina was doing in her daily demos with Dina over the past few weeks. So let me put this up here. We have Dina Wakley's Marine, Golden Iridescent Bronze, Deco Art Media, Green Gold, Artist Loft's Unbleached Titanium, and Liquitex Basic White, which I don't think I'm gonna swatch. I'll just leave a space for that. Or maybe I will, because you never know if a white is truly a white, and some whites look different, so maybe I will swatch that. I usually use that purple tape by, who's that purple tape by, I don't know the company, but they're the only purple tape out there, I think. But I guess I'll use some of my washi. I hate using my precious washi. Let me give myself more room. This is the section that I write the paint info in that I'm taping off. Come on. Don't be like this. So what have you been up to, Kayla? So glad you found time to join me. I know you're a busy, busy woman. Okay, we got that on there. So my brayer. And let's see. Usually I do this on a piece of paper, but maybe this time I'll do it. And I might get a twofer. Do a pull here. This is the Dina Wakley Marine. If you're not familiar with her paints, they're really nice. She has nice colors. The bottles are small, but I find that I have yet to finish a bottle. I think her buff might be the one that's going the quickest for me, but I don't think that comes in a big tube. But I'll have to check and see what's next. Green Gold by Deco Arts. Oh yeah. It's a good thing though that you already were kind of acclimated to teaching online, Kayla, because yeah, I've noticed a lot of people are just like, oh, how do I do online teaching? How do I make videos? Some of that green blue got on there. It doesn't usually happen. But you kind of had that already going for you, so this hasn't really been too big of a transition for you, has it? What am I doing next? Oh, the bronze. Yeah, I wish I could jump in on some of your Zoom sessions, but that's in the middle of the day for me, even though I'm working from home. I don't know, for some reason I'm getting a lot of colors usually don't come off on the roller for me when I do this. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to scratch this one. I just, I don't like to sit here and cut a whole lot of paper, so I usually just buy these packs and call it a day. So much more convenient. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just remember to take the bottom off. You hate when things just disappear on you. Where the heck did that washi go? It's a good thing I have a million rolls. Oh, it's right here in my face. Yeah, working from home was really an adjustment. I'm still adjusting because it's like I'm the type of person that I leave work at work. As soon as I walk out the door, I'm not dealing with work anymore. Well, now work is at home with me. So it's like, Find myself checking emails in the middle of the night, jumping on the computer to work on something because something just pops up in my head like, oh, let me try this or let me do that. And it's like, whoa, this is too much. I'm literally like exhausted by the time Saturday comes around. I can't even like wake up early and prep for these lives. Come on. Let me clean my brayer. You know, I'm just going to go with that. Because in the end, I really know what this is supposed to look like. Just brayer it on there. Bronze. Next color is unbleached titanium. Just put a little bit on here. This is why I have a hard time keeping up with doing these because I get impatient with these paints sometimes. And how they're flipping. This is so, I don't know why it's doing this. You don't have this problem with my brayers. But the colors are bleeding. Anyway, that's what I do and I stick them in my book. So what else? Oh yeah. So the reason why I did that is because I posted some new stencils and I made, that was the color palette that I was just trying to document. It is this. I made some stencils. That's the focal point on these prints. And even the palette, I used the 3x5 gel plate for the palette. And I even love the pull off of that. So yeah, that color combo was a win. I really liked it. And let's see, where are those stencils? So that one was this stencil. It has two, oh, actually that's not it. Oh yeah, it is. These are 3x5. So I actually think, and I wasn't intentionally doing it, but I think, you know, sometimes measurements can be a little off. But I think they'll fit perfectly on here, which would make it nice. Oops, just a little bit too big, but that's okay. Let's see. Let's do copper and see how that looks on top. Hi Tara, how are you? Thanks for popping in the chat. I always love people coming in the chat to get good conversation going. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can't answer it. I'm sure someone will pop in and help me out and answer it for me. So that's that one. I only have one 3x5 plate on here, but let's see what we have here. I'm gonna pull this off and clean this plate. Ooh. Oh, Tara, fun. Been printing all week. I'm always looking at my paints during the week. And that's the other hard thing about working from home. You have to tell yourself, no, you can't do that right now. You gotta work. Because I definitely look at my paints all day long and my hands are itching to touch them and put them on my plates. Are you trying anything new with your printing, Tara? Have you found a new technique you're working on? What is my phone? YouTube has been very bad about sending out notifications about lives, so I kind of have to do my own footwork with that. So let me get this one little line up here. Okay, that probably won't be a problem because I'm only going to be on one half of this plate anyway. So I'm going to take this other one and kind of put it over here. Just a smidge off, but it is okay. Okay. We're going to put bronze on that one as well. Just kind of do it over here. Oh, wow. Way too much. Why did it come out like that? Now I've got to put this on another plate. It just whoop, came out there. Man, you know, this golden is expensive. It's too much to be wasting. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad Art Foamies is back. I love Art Foamies. I have to go on their site, and she just listed the boutique foamies. So I've been eyeing those for probably years. And when I went to go purchase them probably a couple months ago, I was like, what? The Art Foamy site is moving. So I've been anxiously anticipating their return. Oh my goodness. I have a million plates and I'm gonna have to pull them out just to get all this bronze that I accidentally popped out. This is crazy. I'm just gonna let it dry on the plate here and pick it up sometime later. Yeesh. I also have my paper pad I keep up here, so some paint's gonna go on that too. It's picking up the green behind it, so I'm getting the green that's on my brayer from last night, I guess. It's pulling some of that, and it's got a nice patina look to it. Can you hear all that noise outside my window? Great. Yep, I'll have to come back to this later. Okay, I'm over that. Now I gotta put them somewhere so I don't step in them till they're dry. Okay, back to these. So let's see. Oh, I didn't read all your message, Tara. You purchased some batik foamings. Are you liking them? Hey, Rachel. I think the first time I saw the batik was when Rachel was using them. She's had them for a long time, and I'm trying to decide: am I going to get the little ones or the big ones? I think Rachel has the big ones. Which ones did you get, Tara? The small ones or the big ones or the large ones? Okay, so we've got so now we need the marine on here. The marine, did I? Okay. So I'm going to put the marine on here. Dropping stuff. Let's just roll it right on there. I don't know. Just in that kind of mood, just roll everything right on the top there. This is the wonderful bubble wrap that we all know and love. I have all Apple products, so my phone is hooked up to my iPad and my MacBook. So when someone calls, even though my sister knows I'm doing this right now, she's calling me. I'll let that dry, and then we'll come in with the gold, the green gold. Oh, you have both the small and the large batik art foamies, Rachel? Yeah, maybe there's like, isn't there like 4 or 5 in the collection? If I get both sets, that's going to be a lot of money. I might have to just pick one set and come back for the other set later. Okay. That's not quite dry yet. What I'll do while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll go through my other stencils. So these are the other ones. This is the same stencil as the ones I just used, only in a slightly bigger size. So they come on their separate stencil sheets. So this is this one, Primitive Flower 1 and Primitive Flower 2. So I did those, and I kind of like this color palette as well, so I also jotted that down, and we'll have to get around to swatching it on the paper. So I like that. And then the next one was Brackets. That's this one. And have the positive, and I rolled over the stencil to get it into the holes. And then the paint was on the top, so I had my other plate, and I just flipped it over there and rolled it again and got the negative, which is around here. So it's a little fainter. The bronze is kind of competing with it for you to be able to see it, but still a nice background. So that was that one. Dance break? No, you're not going to get a dance break out of me. This is the other one. Stripes. It's a repeated pattern. It's actually, I have a foam stamp that is also in my shop, and so I printed it, scanned it in, and repeated the pattern. This one actually exists on another stencil, just as one line, and then there are other like border type stamps, designs on it. So I took it out by itself and repeated it on a pattern, on a stencil design. So yep, that's this in the background you see right here. So like that. And you might be like, of course you like it, you designed it. No, I definitely have designed some stencils that I'm like, we're gonna hide this one and come back to it later when we can fix it up and make it look better. So those are those stencils. And then some of the stencils already exist in my shop, but they're not all big. You can't get them all in large format. So this is one I just updated to offer it in a large format. Let's see, I posted, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a post of a print with the smaller one. I'm trying to find it. I took it to my art room to scan it in, and now it's sitting in folder somewhere. Hopefully not lost forever. I found it, then I lost it again. Anyway, you might play with that. So let's go ahead and add the green gold on here. We'll just kind of swipe it on, you know how I do, if you're familiar with how I print. We'll just swipe this on somewhere just to have that color there. A little more. let that dry. Now also, let's see, earlier this week, I posted this, in love with it. This is a stencil from a design I purchased on Creative Market. Just purchased the digital file, whether it's JPEG or PNG or even PDF, and I pull it up in, I have a silhouette, and I pull it up in the silhouette software and trace it, and then cut it out of the stencil material that I use. And so I have this stencil and absolutely love it. Love how this came out. And probably will do a series with this color combination. One of colors I love, Handmade Modern, which is a Target brand. This the color Morning Mist. That's, I don't know if you can see it. It's in the background here with Payne's Gray and Dina Wakley's Buff, and then Artist Loft Bronze, which is very different from Golden Bronze. So it's a lot duller, I think. A lot more dull. Because see, this is Golden's Bronze, and this is Artist Loft. So, you know, that's a good thing about swatching out your paints, which I just started doing. You can see attributes of each paint. And if you, once again on Instagram, posted that I was going through swatching colors. I've gotten pretty far. This isn't even half the paints I have, but they're pretty much all the paints I brought to my apartment. So that the Artist Loft Bronze, it's darker than the Golden Bronze. So it kind of gives, I think, a better antique look, having that darker bronze. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. You gotta swatch it out too, because some of these colors, boy, this, even though I love the Rosy by Dina Wakley, it doesn't print very well. And I don't know if I got a bad bottle of titanium buff from Golden, but that was really, this is the heavy body. That really was not a good printing paint, but their fluid is nice and smooth. So yeah, I've been busy this week. I've been printing, I've been swatching, I've been making stencils, posting on Etsy. I've been just really productive. Proud of myself. Thanks, Rachel. It's been a while since I've put up new stencils, but just all of a sudden yesterday, I was just like, okay, this is what I'll do with this, and this. And then the next thing I knew, I had 7 stencils. 5 of them are up on Etsy. I still have to make samples of the last 2. But yeah, I was just knocking them out. I was on a roll. Tara, I'm trying to get more foam stamps made. I emailed the company that made the stripe stamps. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. I really want to do the primitive flowers in a stamp. And maybe some other stencils. I like having the stencils, a stencil stamp type set go on. So that's probably what I'll do. So now we'll go ahead and pick these up. Okay. Let me get my paper ready. Doesn't that look great? Even though it's just swatching, that's a nice background. I'll print the These actually I might keep and want to, I think I want to make some cards. So that's kind of what prompted me, I think, kind of pushed these stencils out of my brain, because I was like, oh, I want to make some cards. And my brain was like, oh yeah, you still got these stencils to make. Here you go. So I think I'm going to do that. Just a little bit. Of the Artist Loft Unbleached Titanium Liquid Text Titanium White. Let's roll it out. I like to use 2 colors for the background just to give it a little, I don't know, depth, I guess you could say. Yeah, I'm sure you two know each other on Instagram. Pretty tight community on there. Okay. That's that. Put this one down. I put a little too much blue on here because it's kind of fighting with that, but I guess I could get a Posca pen and maybe outline it or something. I don't know. I'll leave it as is and use it for a background on something else. One of my plates was giving me dead spots when I was pulling, so I conditioned it with baby oil. And while I was conditioning, I figured out why it was a dead spot. For some reason, it had a dip in it. But the baby oil, who was it? Judy was like, it would definitely fix that dead spot, that dry spot. So it wasn't actually dry; it was just a big dip in it. But yeah, the baby oil definitely got rid of the dip. My plate is completely level. But you know, that's not the only reason why you can get dry spots. Sometimes the paint just dries faster in some areas, because when I was pulling the prints for this, I was getting dry spots, but I think the paint just dried. I took too long to roll the paint out, and those were probably the areas where the paint dried way faster than the other areas. And so, but it still has a nice look to it. So I kept them. All right, Kayla. See you when you get back. All right. So there's that. The bronze with the green and the unbleached titanium looks really nice. Here's that other one. Can't quite see the bronze that well, but it's still a nice background. Let's see. So, what are we going to look at next? I also posted a new digital paper using, once again, you know, I like having things go across. You have the paper, the stencil, the stamp. So this is the image. It was originally a hand carved stamp that I stamped on a piece of paper and scanned in and cleaned it up. So I had to do additional steps to make it into a stencil. You know, you have to remove some space in there so that the stencil can stay attached. So this is the same image, except parts of it have been removed just to make it easier to stencil with. So I figure this would be a nice background to a card. If we add some color to it. So let's see, let's start off with the smaller plate and just experiment with it. We'll just swatch some colors on here. Oh, you hadn't finished taking everything out, Rachel? You got a lot of stuff. Gosh, you won't have a reason to say you're bored being in the house, because that studio alone is going to give you so much to do. What are you going to tackle this weekend? Because you've got all your furniture in there, right? And all of it's painted, so now you're just kind of organizing. Let's add some. Ooh, this blue might be. We'll just put a little bit of blue in there. Just a tiny bit. I probably could have just, because I don't want to use the matte medium. So I mean, this green is probably not going to transfer because I let the fluid acrylic dries really quickly. Let me do this. I'm actually going to pick all this up and do that green over again. I'm not used to stamping each layer. You know, I'm used to building layers on the plate, so it's a habit. In this case, I need to stamp every layer onto the paper separately. I could just be lazy. Not lazy. Could go the quick route and just swipe the paint on this paper. Okay, got that off of there. Which I might do. I'm going to use the plate as a palette and maybe just swipe the color on there. You know that for those who, again, follow me on Instagram, I posted that piece of paper that I found on my desk that I had painted for one of my digital papers, and it got lost, and I found it again. I think I lost it again. Okay. Just too much stuff. try to stay organized, but when you just like flying through things like this, you just throw stuff all over the place, like, okay, that one's done, throw it on the floor, throw it on another surface, and keep it moving. Just have a hard time staying organized when you do things that way. Big hunk of blue right there. I don't know, it's something. Cut out pieces can be a focal point on a card. Got some card bases here. Oh, you still have shelves to hang up. Yeah, as long as you know where everything is. You can just sit down and play with stuff and slowly organize it maybe as you use it. Let me dry this before I cut it out. Come on, get in there. Okay. I'll plug in my dryer. Hello, Flo. I don't have a 3 by 5 viewer cut out, so we're just gonna have to guess which part of this is gonna look good. Definitely want to go this way, the same way as the flowers. So this cutter goes up to 3. Let's cut this off first. This white space. And then this will be 3, but I kind of like this big green swatch here in the middle. So I'm going to line that up with 1.5. Cut it like that, then cut this down to 3. And then maybe right there, 5. This is a white space, cut that off. Okay, and then this to 5. Yep, I think I like that. Let's see, I didn't really measure it. Kind of needed it to be the size of this card base. That's no problem. Cards don't always have to be exact, so I can definitely cut it down to match the size of this and make my own envelope. Let's see, so this is, if I cut that down to 3. Then let's cut this down to 4. Nope. Let's say 4.5. Let's do that. About 3.5. 3.5. Oh, isn't that just cute? I just sent Flo her first gel plate. Flo, have you made any more prints since the one you showed me? Wish I had my big Xyron. I kind of want to make this whole thing sticky just so there aren't any spots that'll pop up. And so I was watching a frugal crafter video, and she was making cards. On the video thumbnail, you'll see a card with origami cranes on there, and she made them so that the card can be reused. So inside, which I think I'm going to start doing, I'm going to try it with these cards that I'm planning on doing. Inside, there's like little tabs, and you can stick, so you can stick, I'm trying to think of the easiest way to make these tabs. Because you have to leave open space for the paper to go underneath. Kind of need a glue pen, but let's try this. So we're going to cut a triangle out of this. And then you just kind of put it in there. So that, let me cut that. Put the triangles in there so that they can hold a little piece of paper. And you put your sentiment on the paper, and then, you know, of course, let them know that this can be repurposed, reused, and they can take your sentiment out and put a new one in there and mail it off to someone. And that way, your hard work that was put into, just almost stuck that down on the card. And that way, the hard work you put into the card will get some more love by being sent to another recipient. I think it's great. Just definitely have to find, I know they have those photo corners. That'd be a good thing to use. I'm just worried that they might be kind of bulky. But this is definitely something you have to test out. And then knowing where to put these for the right size here. Ooh, Flo. No, you didn't. See, that's what I'm saying. Working from home, it's hard to just sit and be tortured by meetings. You want to just go somewhere and play with something. That didn't feel quite sticky, but I think the sticky back is on it. Come on. Okay. So this one, this way. And this is probably going to be a weird size. But it's a demo. So then you have this on the outside. And for my bone folder. And then this on the inside. Let's find a piece of paper to put in there. And I cannot find my ruler, guys. I have a ruler and it's driving me crazy that I have no idea what happened to it. So I'm out here eyeballing measurements a lot of times. So this is about 2 inches wide. Is that right? 2 inches? Yep. Like I say, measure twice, cut once. That's a small little swatch. So next time, definitely gotta make that bigger. But you get the idea. Let's see how long this is. A little under 4. It's about 4 3/8. So let's do 4 1/4. Now that wasn't right. What was that? Was 3 1/4? Measured twice and still got it wrong. What is this? That's not right. What did I do? That should have fit. And now I got a little bit in there. Anyway, let's just cut it down to 4. That should work. This is making me mad. Okay. Got more tape on there than I thought. Okay, so that's that. I have to cut it thinner because it can't straighten out. I have to build a template for this. That's the kind of person I am. Just a template for lining up the squares, template for, lining up the triangles, a template for cutting out the little sentiment paper, because I don't have time for all this other stuff. So that's how that would be. So you just write on there. Let's see, find a pen. Something simple. Probably be best to do with a better pen, but it's just an example. So they see this, they open it, like, oh my gosh. And then you like write in there somewhere, take my sentiment out and put a new one in. Whoop, they take it out. They write another one. Tell them, hey, hope you enjoy this card. Sending you a hug from 700 miles away. Look away. And there you go. You got, and your card gets another life. I love that. What do you guys think? I think that's a nice way to extend your card's life. So, you know, of course, like I said, my printables are out there. This is the only one that's one by itself. I have these that come in a set. Didn't mean for them to print so small, but nice little card backgrounds that you can add color to. I think this is the one, the design that I had that swatch of paint on that I found on my desk. Yeah, this is really excited about this. And I'm the type of person that I really don't care for putting sentiments on the front. So I can do this. Send it. I think, Lindsay, like there was some kind of stamp that's out there that'll let you know that the card is reusable. For me, I just stick my cards a lot of times through the printer. I'll create a template and stick it through the printer, and maybe I'll do that, figure out how I can print that on there, or maybe put it on the back. This card is reusable. So what is next? I actually have something else that I bought. I got this, and I thought about using it to kind of do this concept, but it punches the holes through the paper so that you can slap paper into it. So maybe what I could do is create like cut another swatch of this out and put it on the inside. Punch these holes into it. I'm not even sure how this, as you can see, I haven't taken it out. Got it from Tuesday Morning for $9 by We Are Memory Keepers. We Are Memory Keepers, always getting my money. Trying to be careful because these are blades. So, without reading the directions, I believe it's supposed to go something like this. So, kind of have to, that's the question. The lines, it would have been nice if the lines were on here versus here. I guess you kind of look at the lines through here and line it up. Yeah, that's a little weird. They're missing some lines on here. So, try to get this centered as best as I can. Lay it down on here. Might help to washi tape it down maybe. And then I just punch this in here, I guess. And I hear it cutting perfectly. Okay. So now we've got slots in here. And there you go, you probably can see that better. The little slots. I knew I should have brought my corner rounder. Kind of like that, having a corner rounder, but because this looks kind of dull. Just a big box in there. But I don't know about cutting this. We'll cut it just a little bit. Put this at the 1/2 inch mark. Cut the sides down. Okay, that's a little more exciting, don't you think? Which means I need to make another card. Okay, so this time I'll pay attention to the actual card size and cut out a swatch big enough. So we're working with, this should be 4 1/4, I think. So we'll cut it down to 4. And then 5. So we'll cut this 5 1/2. 4 1/4. So we'll cut this down to 5. So again, I want some green in there. Let me cut this white spot off. That one doesn't have one. Okay. So 5 1/4. This down a little more. Cut that down a little more. Who else is out there? Flo, did your paints come? The paints you ordered, did they arrive? 5 1/2, 5 1/5, 5 1/4, 5. I am not paying attention to my measurements today. I have to take that down a notch. Take this side off. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and take that up here. What kind did you get? Did you get like a basic color set, or you went for a Big Daddy set? Okay. I've been doing good, not really buying any more paints because I have a million of them. Although I did order, I was recommended on Instagram golden mica mica something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a metallic. So I did buy that paint. But I've been doing good about buying paints. Just your basic primary kind of colors, like a 12 set or an 8 set, something like that. And then this will go here. The sentiment's going to be rather tiny, but we'll see. Gotta trying to figure out when they try to fit it in here. Should this probably shouldn't be taped down. Maybe I can tape down the top. You kind of have to be able to get in there and lift it up, right? If this is taped down, or maybe just the very edge. This tape is kind of might be a little too wide. Let's just do this right up here. Do these corners and see how it works. Okay. Get that kind of centered. Okay, now I need a piece of paper to go in there. Put this back together. Get it out of my way. The heck? How does this store together? And it doesn't. Oh, duh. Okay. These little knobs go in there. Off to the side you go. I feel like I need to, I'm just testing this out. So that was, and now I'm picking it back up. This was, so it's a 2x2. So let's see, that's a 2x2 square. I'll start it off cutting it 2x2 and we'll see if that measurement makes sense. Okay, looks like 2x2 was correct. Now if I can just get it in there. Yeah, that's going to be kind of hard. I don't know how. Maybe you're supposed to slip this in here first. Because that's not going in, guys. Where's my X-Acto knife? See if I can get it lifted. Then I won't be able to get the other ones in. I'm going to have to figure out a different way to be taped. Because the person receiving this might not have an X-Acto knife to figure out how to get this in here. Let's do it on the corners. If you can't get it in on all four sides, at least Go for the corners. Uh-oh, did I not cut through this one all the way? Okay. 2 inches, about 2 inches is too big. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the area bigger because I don't know who writes this small. Oh no. That's disrespectful. Come on, what are you doing? Sheesh. What's going on with this blade? Disrespectful. You know, but it looks like once you get the start working on the nope. Spoke too soon. Still gotta lift this up. Now cut it too small. I think. Okay, this is a work in progress. This little cutting mechanism. But it has potential. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Got it. Okay. So, that only took forever, but I like the look of it, I think. And then I write a little sentiment on here. Just something, I mean, that actually is a pretty good size because even when it comes to sentiments, I like to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to just find my pen. I almost stuck that, well, I did stick that back in there with no top on it. Uh-oh, got a like. Thanks, whoever gave me my like. Can you help me find my pen? Did I put it back? I sure did. I did what I was supposed to do. I put it back after I used it. Okay, and then something simple. Thinking of you. Ow, that's so sweet. Look at that. Coordinates. Let me know in the comments or in the chat which one you like better. Do you like the tabs, the little triangles, or this, the little mat? I made a little mat for the inside. Too much? I think the paper kind of makes a difference too. If I were to have a colored piece of paper that happened to match this color scheme and wrote the sentiment on there, because just this white piece of paper just floating out there with only the 2 triangles, kind of boring. The mat looks nice though. I kind of like this. Hey Judy! No, you're not late. Whenever anyone takes the time to pop in and chat with me, you're always on time. I was just going through some prints earlier that I made today using stencils that I posted, that I listed in my Etsy shop last night. So I made some prints with those, and then this is a digital paper that I just posted that coordinates with the stencil, one of the stencils I just posted. So this is the stencil printed. And I posted the digital paper to go with the stencil. And so I was just trying out an idea that I got from the Frugal Crafter about when you make cards. I got 2 triangles right there that I need to use. When you make cards, to make them reusable. So you can easily do that by creating, you know, little tabs in there so that the sentiment can be taken out and you can make a new one and just stick it in there and your card gets another life. So this one, yeah, I made with the We Are Memories Keeper apparatus. Still working on the best way to adhere it to the paper so that people can get the new sentiment in there. But yeah, liking that. And these were really quick to make. I just printed the digital paper out, swiped some color on there, and then you can kind of do that anyway. Just prep some cards, put the mat in there, put the triangles in there, and put them off to the side, and whenever an occasion comes up, just write up a quick note, stick it in there. Of course, on better paper. This is just regular printer paper. You know, now I got all these yummy strips of paper. I need to find something to do with. I even want to keep that, and I know that's just horrible to just keep a little bitty piece of paper like that. But that's also the good thing about having journals, because technically I could just glue this down into a piece of, on a page. But I haven't quite gotten that skill down yet where I can just throw stuff down. You love the mat? Okay, now the way your name is spelled for me is Cherie. I don't know if you pronounce it the same way, Miss Day, but I think I'm loving the mat too. Flo, you like both of them? Judy likes both. Yeah, I think this just needs a different piece of paper. This looks good with a white piece of paper. But I think maybe even if you just swiped some green on a blank piece of paper, I don't know. Or you could just line the paper, and that might look better. Edge the paper, just to give it something so it stands out. It's kind of boring like this. Give it a little character. You're boring me, little paper. Gotta let that dry because I'll be mad at myself if I smear black ink on this card that is perfect. Ooh, hot. Duh, Jackie. Let's see if that makes a difference. Having the triangles is definitely easier to use. I don't know, that kind of does look a little better. I'm a little sloppy about it, but that one's it's not as, yeah, less sloppy. Definitely stands out better. I think I like that. This is what I'll do. That might be overkill. I know, we're just experimenting here, right? I'm going to take this and we're going to line it real quick. A little messy lining. there. See how that looks. The back side's going to be messed up because the paint, I can tell, is already smearing the back as I'm turning it around. Ooh. Okay. What's going on this side? Or take your pen and do a little scribble scribble. I don't know why I keep looking for my pen when I've already established that I keep putting it back where it's supposed to go. Don't mind me, I'm always doing the most, but sometimes you end up finding a technique you like by taking a little time to do the most. Here we go. Definitely like that better. What do you think, guys? With a nice bold edge that kind of coordinates with the stamping. A little squiggly squiggly. Oh, you're trying to de-stash, Judy? Oh, de-stashing is just painful for me. I can't even really bear to part with any of my supplies. I kind of like the simplicity of the, now that I have this edge on the white piece of paper, I think I'm kind of liking the triangles better. And they're definitely easier to do. Yep, Judy, I think we're in agreement, which is not a surprise because we often are in agreement about artsy stuff. So that looks great. I love this. I can probably still do that with this one too. But there's no white in the background. But we'll see here. Oh, got a little shallow on that. Try not to bump into my writing. That might be inevitable. Okay. Heat gun. Okay, come on, get in there. You can do it. Dang it. Definitely gonna have to find a, if I decide to use this one to send to people, definitely gonna have to find an easier way to get these in here. Although it might be easier with a thicker paper, I would suggest using just a plain cardstock for this so that it has a little rigidity to it. This copy paper is giving me the blues. Okay, so I don't like the outline on this one. It's too much. But we had to try it, right? Okay, Judy. Oh, wow. Hit by a hurricane? Yikes. Sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're able to salvage your stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going for the triangle style. Unless, because this is in here. So, you know, it can do a little outline, a little squiggle maybe on the outside. I don't know. Let me take a sip here. My throat's getting a little dry. Let's see, what else have I been up to? I don't think I want to do the, you know, this is the point where you're like, okay, am I doing too much? If I put the squiggles down there with the pen, I won't be able to take them away. I kind of like this as is. I think I'm definitely liking this better. Now I have to go through the process of making a card that, an envelope that this can fit into. And yeah. So let's see, what was the other one I printed here? I printed this one. I actually probably could just fold this into, yikes, on the wrong side for that. That probably could be a card. I'll just cut it and make it into a card base. Here we go, cutty McCut. I was just telling one of my Instagram friends that I've noticed that, you know, snail mail has really seemed to be taking off again. I grew up writing. I would always write my grandmother. You know, me living in Illinois and she lived in Mississippi, I grew up writing her all the time. I still actually have some of the stationery I used to use when I was little. I've always just loved stationery. So snail mail has always been a thing for me. I love sending cards. But it seems, you know, to be making a comeback now that people aren't able to see each other as easily as they used to. So are any of you thinking about sending cards out to your people, some friends? And that was another thing. Someone else posted on Instagram about a site you can go to so that you can just send cards, postcards to random people. Let me see if I can pull this up. Boop, boop, boop. I gotta remember how to pull up saved post. Saved. Let's see here. It's called postcrossing.com. I don't know if you can see that. So if you go to postcrossing.com, you request an address and a postcard ID, mail the postcard to that address, receive a postcard from another postcrosser, register the postcard ID you have received, and then you request another postcard ID. So you can do that as often as you want, and you just kind of, and then you're receiving postcards from random people are receiving them from you. So it's just really nice. I think that's a really good idea. I cut this down to 3. What is this? Gosh, I really need my ruler. This is just shy of 5 inches. Let's see, let's cut this down to 3. I can make another itty bitty one, another narrow card, because that was 3, right? Yep. cut this down to 3. Hey, Darlene. Oh, we got our whole crew. Like, this is just the same regulars. You know, we're cheers for YouTube streaming. You know what I'm saying? Back in the garden, Darlene. You guys have been having some good weather where you are. Today is sunny here in northern Illinois, around Chicago. I live outside of Chicago, just about 30 minutes. Nice and sunny. Don't know what the temperature is. I haven't looked. But earlier this week, I think it was, the days are running together, but I think it was earlier this week that it was raining a lot. Yeah, I might have to get outside today just to get some vitamin D to help combat all this mental strain that our current situation is putting on me. It's not a whole lot. I've been very fortunate with my job. Fortunate that my son is not super social, so he's not dying by having to stay inside. And yeah, and my people are healthy. So I've been very fortunate, and I know that. But I need to maintain that, so gotta get out, gotta walk around whenever possible, keep doing my art, just to keep that mental stability there. Because an unstable Jackie is not a good Jackie, okay? This one's a thicker cardstock. I had the foresight to see that, this print was going to look good. So I went ahead and pulled it with a thicker paper. But I have decided to start pulling prints with copy paper because I want to start trying collage. It's a little intimidating thinking about that, but that's nice. I love the bronze, how it just, can you see that? Love that bronze. We got some temperatures here. I'm in the 70s today. I probably am because it's getting a little warm in my room. So that usually means it's pretty warm outside because my apartment has old windows. So pretty much whatever temperature it is outside is the same temperature in my apartment. I have I have really tall windows in my apartment. It's the one reason why I just had to get this. Get tons of sunlight in here. And I absolutely love it. But the definite drawback is when it's hot outside, it's hot in here. And when it's cold outside, it's cold in here. A constant state of instability, Judy. Yeah, I think that's the status of most people these days. And I kind of feel bad for people who don't have a hobby like reading or knitting or like crafting, because they have to be going stir crazy. Or, they can watch TV, but I hardly watch TV. I never watch anything like as soon as it's out. And there really aren't that many shows that appeal to me. So I'm either crafting or reading a book, something like that. So yeah, I feel bad for people who are having a hard time adjusting to being stuck in the house. This is like my dream I spend every week. Before this happened, I would spend every weekend pretty much in the house. Only time I would leave is to go to my meetups, or if there was a family function, or my friends as a group wanted to get together. Okay, let's make one for this one. I'm making all these cards, guys. If you know me on Instagram and you want to receive one of these, feel free to DM me your address or your P.O. box, and I will gladly send you one of these cards. And then, like I said, they're all going to be reusable. So when you get them, love them, say, ooh, you can keep them, definitely, if you want to. But if you're the kind of person that, wants to share the wealth, doesn't like to hoard things, I have every single birthday card I have ever received since I was old enough to understand the feelings and emotions behind some birthday cards. So we're talking high school, probably. I know at the very least college. And they're in a box. And so I am the kind of person who keeps cards. But I know some people aren't like that. So instead of throwing them away, now you have the option to pass them on. So definitely, if you want to receive one of these, just DM me your address on Instagram, and I'll send you one. I believe also here on YouTube, if you go to the About section on my page, I think my email address is in there. But it's creationsbyjshree@gmail.com. So you can also email me if you want to. Your P.O. box or your address. And I'll send one to you. Let's see. Let's cut this down. So we were at, I don't remember what size this one is. What was it? That looks about 3.5. It's a little piece of art on a card. I get so excited about these things. And then, I just make prints just to make prints. Like, I rarely do anything like journal with them. I really don't make backgrounds. So, if they're not going in my gel printing book, this is now probably the best way for me not to have an unwieldy stash. Wieldy. Let's see, which one should go up or down? I think I like it this way. Oh, jeez. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. Almost stuck down to the wrong place. What was saying here? Don't like TV. Yeah, I have a TV. There are 2 TVs in my apartment. One's in the living room and one's in my son's room, but he doesn't have anything hooked up to that because we definitely don't have any cable. So the TV's just in there. It doesn't even have an antenna on it, so he can't even get regular channels on that TV. So it's just sitting in there because his game system was hooked up to it, but he was playing it in the middle of the night, so I had to remove the game system. So now the game system's on the TV in the living room, which is the only other TV I have here. And I do a lot of streaming. So I have Hulu, and I'm a huge anime fan. So I have Crunchyroll, and those are pretty much the 2. I'll stream Pandora on my TV, and because I have a Roku stick. So, I can stream Pandora, YouTube, Hulu, Crunchyroll, and that's about it. And then, for the most part, I'm not a TV person. Definitely don't have it in my room because I don't go to sleep to the TV. I don't want to wake up to it. I don't care. Yeah, Sheree, it's definitely different when someone tells you have to stay home. because now, you know, like I said, I'm a homebody. So I usually stay home anyway on the weekends and during the week. But, you know, now that I can't go out, it's like, oh, well, now I have this urge to want to visit all my friends. And some of them haven't seen me in months. So we're just, I guess, weird that way as humans. Someone tells us not to do something, then all of a sudden we want to. Yeah, this one, it's so simple. But I love this. Got your little bubble wrap right there. What was that? The strip that I got from trying to do my color palette swatches. And then the golden bronze, which is so yummy. I love this this color palette. And for those of you who came late, this color palette is Dina Wakley's Marine, Deco Art Media Fluid Acrylic in green gold, Golden's Iridescent Bronze Fine. Let's see, this is Artist Loft's Unbleached Titanium and Liquitex Basic Titanium White. So that's what this color palette is, and it's a fave of mine. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. When I did it for these samples, I just knew I had to record that because I didn't want to forget it. And these color palette swatches are actually, I might have to add something to these. This is a little plain. I won't put that on the card just yet. So wow, got there. I just need to put the little, oh wait, did I have a strip left over from that? I gotta make my triangles. Oh no. I didn't have anything left over from that? I didn't throw it away, did I? Oh, just this little, okay, so let's see this. Maybe if I make little strips and glue each end. We're over here using all the scraps, okay? Nothing's gonna be left over. How long is this? No scrap left unused. So we're going about 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. Just so I don't make them too uneven. I think I just cut that at 1 inch, so I spoke too soon. Jackie. Definitely cut that at 1 inch. Oh well, so much for measuring. Can't see. I work on the computer all day, and I feel like I've just been on the computer more than I would have if I were not working from home. So my eyes are getting tired. I already have poor eyesight as it is. My eyes are ready to tap out on me. Okay. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining me, Lynn. What are you up to today while you're watching the stream? Are you cleaning, crafting? All right, Flo, see you when you come back. Cherie, I definitely like limiting my palette. When I get ready to have a gel printing session, I try to stay between 5 and 7 colors. That way, that's one less thing to have to worry about, because you're already kind of, you know, I like to consider composition when I'm doing my prints because I'm building them all up on the plate. So, you know, I don't want to have to worry about whether colors match, so or go together. Let me see what happened to that. Oh, here we go. Let's use some tape strip for this because this is a little small for my ATC gun. And it really helps. Like I'll go on Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board just for color palettes that I find by searching on Pinterest. That didn't stick. So I always have, if I can't think of a color palette, I usually will go on there and look at what I've pinned. And let's see. Here I go again, just putting things on here willy-nilly. Whoever gets this, you know what I was trying to do here. So yeah, I'll go out on Pinterest, and sometimes I'll pin color palettes that aren't quite colors that I usually use. I'll make myself go out of my comfort zone. And I've actually had some pretty pleasant surprises by doing that. But if you don't find color palettes on Pinterest, or a lot of the color palettes that are even pinned on Pinterest come from a site called, and as soon as I get ready to name it for you, of course, it escapes me. Oh, what is that color site called? Design Seed. I think that's it. I know some of you are probably familiar with it. Help me out here. Design Seed or Seeds. Okay, so here's my color palette board. And I mean, I'm still gonna, of course, I'm drawn to certain colors. I love turquoise. I love yellow ochre, mauve, deep reds. But on Design Seed, come on, where is one? Where are you? Let me see if I can find it. Just get the website design. I think there's a hyphen in that web address. Design-seeds, plural.com. And you can search by color palettes, or you can search by, let's say, themes. Maybe winter, summer, spring, fall. And so right here you can search by color. And so if I were to choose this one, which is kind of a pumpkin, maybe terracotta type color, all the palettes that use that color or a shade or a tone of that color come up. And so you can pin these, and it just kind of helps you work outside your comfort zone. Like this is, I'm drawn to this turquoise, but I don't think I would ever put these other colors like this magenta, I don't think, or fuchsia. I don't think I would ever put that with it. So yeah. Flo, you back already? I was late seeing your post. All right, Kayla, thanks for stopping by. See you on the other social medias. Oh, enjoying a cup of coffee, Lynn? Awesome. Let's see. So with the little strips on there, I can try to find a blank piece of paper. looks like that might even be too wide. Let's try this. That's at 2 inches. Whew. This is the annoying part about this. I'll get it together, guys. Oh, that's too thin. I just know it's too thin for me to even write on. Okay, let's try that. At 3. 3 is probably too long, but we'll start. Oh, we got a short one right there. So either one of them will work. Let's try this one. So we got that. Got that. 2. There we go. Perfect fit. That's cute. Don't you think, guys? Let's go ahead and edge that. Let's edge this. Turn it around. Get kind of sketchy with it. Getting too close to my card. Sketchy, sketchy. See how this looks. Okay. Got that there. Hit it with the heat gun. Come back here. Okay. I really wish I had some of my sentiment stamps here. I thought about bringing them, but I was like, nah, I don't need those. And then now I need them. I want to stamp, and I have so many of them. I'm gonna have to hit this with an eraser. I got a little bit of stuff smushed on there, but I'll handle that at a later date. I'll get my sentiment stamps and stamp in the middle here. But then you got that there. Where my other? Right in there with something a little thicker. My Poscas. I've got a million of them. Sorry if that was loud for you guys. That one's the fine tip. I think I want a bolder tip. There we go. Of course, I definitely would prefer to stamp this, but just seeing what it looks like. That looks like crap. But The little strips work just as nicely, I think. And it doesn't have to be in there straight. Kind of like it a little wonky, a little crooked. And this one I think I will take a little chance and outline the strips. Just to see. Got like a million prints. I guess I can afford to take a chance. I always like it when the sketchy kind of extends, overlaps a bit. Alrighty then. It's gonna dry. No smearing today, guys. Okay. I think that's dry. So then we just stick a little, could stick this in here like this. Might be too much. I'm gonna do it with the pen. Okay. I don't know, I have to figure that out. Let's see, that is, so I'll do the strips for this too, or, oh, this is a different, wait a minute, is this the same color? This is the same color palette. What happened to my little squares? I mean my little triangles. Though that's not the same pattern. I think I blew them all away with the heat gun. But this one doesn't have a pattern on it at all, so I could use this. I don't know, what do you think? Where are the rest of my strips? I think I prefer the little strips right there. Just don't think I'll dry around them next time. Alrighty. I need to take these down before they end up missing. Because they will get lost. Little bitty strips like that. You like the little, Tara, you prefer the little sketchy lines around the strips? Ooh, I might have slipped that over here too far. Okay. There we go. Let's go about this far up. I don't know. It's tape doesn't have a lot of tack to it, fortunately. There we go. I think the other one will be right there. Okay. That off. Yeah, look go. Okay. And this is so crazy. I don't know what I'm lining up with. Definitely gonna have to create a template. All right. Yeah, having this like this is kind of dull. Here's my pen. Doodly doodly doodly. Dot dot dot. Sketchy sketchy. Doodly doodly. Sketchy sketchy. Why does it feel like my pen is drying out? Doodly 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 doodly. Sketchy sketchy. Sketchy sketchy doodly doodly. Guys, this is so cool. I've got cards. We've got different types. We've got strips. We've got, that's dry, right? Strips. We've got a mat. We've got triangles. I think that looks great. Oh, what happened to the one that was in here? That's awesome, guys. Yay! Hey, Susie. Thanks for stopping by, Cherie. Take care. Oh, been gardening. Got in there before it got hot. What's the temperature out there for you, Susie? Just been on here. I printed out one of my digital papers, swatched some paint on it, cut it down, and made a card with it. And we kind of been trying to decide the best way to kind of make the inside so that you can remove the sentiment, put a new one in there, and send the card off to the next person so your cards get more action, longevity. And then I did a print because I was showing some of the other people on the stream some stencils that I listed on Etsy. So this was one of them. This is a better, I don't know if you can see it with the reflection, but it's this pattern and size. So it fits it just slightly goes off the 5x7 plate horizontally. So I pulled a print where I put the stencil on this side and kind of swipe some paint over here. And so cut that down from this way. It was like this. Cut it down and made it into 2 cards. I love this print. Like, I really love putting my prints in my gel printing book. So the fact that I'm parting with this original print and I'm loving it so much says a lot of how I'm really trying to get people cards in the mail. So yeah, those are those. I feel like there was one other thing I was going to show you guys, but I can't remember what it was. This was the other print, but I don't think that's standing out quite enough to be a card. I'm not feeling that as a card. Did anyone have any questions while I'm trying to figure out what was the other thing? I was supposed to write this stuff down, but I did not. It's just the 4 cards. Jackson Knight, everyone, that's my son, and he wants me to strangle him on a daily basis. I think that's his goal in life. Jackson Knight, please prepare yourself for your aunt to pick you up so she can stop calling and texting me in the middle of my stream. So, don't you just love it when your own kids troll you on social media? Just trolling you, your own kids. But that's okay. When he's playing his video games, I'm trolling him in the background during his video games, knowing all his little friends can hear me. I sit back there and I mock him and scream random things. So I do have some stamps. Maybe I can stamp some of these ones that are plain. Let's see, I brought these stamps over recently. That's what I can do. I can stamp them. Yay! Before we get off of here, I'll have enough cards for anyone viewing this stream. If you, again, decide you want... Oh, no. If you decide you want one, hit me up on Instagram in the DMs. Or email me, creationsbyjcherie@gmail.com. There are some background stamps I purchased. You all were on a previous stream. You would have seen me show those. These are actually perfect size. Oh, this one. That's what I bought this with the whole intent of using it for cards to stamp on backgrounds. These are too big. Okay. It's slowly turning into a huge mess in my craft area. So let's see. This one. What was the other one? There they are. These, I could emboss them with white embossing powder. Watermark Resist. I think I can emboss with that. I did not bring my embossing pad. You can emboss with the watermark, can't you? Dual purpose ink pad. I think it is embossing. No, this is for resist. Okay. Part of me thinks I can emboss with that, but I'm not quite sure. So we might not see this little... Let's test it on something I don't really care about. Okay. Geez, this one I thought I had everything in the proper place. Now I don't know where my embossing powder is. This is insane. Because even though I like Posca pens, the white one I don't think is opaque enough for this. And I could stencil white through it and see how that turns out. How about that? Because I don't know where my embossing powder is. Oh, it's getting hot, guys. The sun's starting to move around toward me. Let's see. I could stencil with, and maybe take some white paint, and this is one of my favorite stencils. It's by Dina Wakley. It's actually retired, so unfortunately you can't get your hands on it. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Because I actually don't like stenciling directly. I mean, I do it from time to time, but I prefer to gel print everything, all my layers. Unless I just can't get the layer on a print, on a gel plate successfully, I gel print every single layer. I'm going to pull this off here. Bye, Flo. See ya. Thanks for stopping by. Go, pull this off. Just a little white on these will probably be a nice bright touch to this. Okay. A nice background. Everything's always a nice background. You end up having so many extra pieces of paper lying around because you're like, ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, I can use that. And then next thing you know, you've a whole day down the gel printing wormhole. So I'm just going to just going to put a little bit on here. Another plate to use as a palette. Paper sticking everything. And I'm just going to put this on here. And pick it up with this. Got that right there. Just a little bit, just a little something. This one. Right there. I don't think I have enough on here to really make a difference, but we'll try and pull it anyway. Just a little something. Yeah, you get started, and then the next thing you know, it's dark outside. You're like wondering, why can't I see my what I'm doing anymore? Like, oh, it's now nighttime. This actually could use some. Let's do this. This one's already dark, so I won't be able to use the black on there. What am I doing? Where is the little plate? Where did you go, little plate? There you are. Put this back on here. It's a little wet still, I think. Don't want, trying to avoid the white paint rolling off and mixing with the blue. I could use more of that. And I think this will be a good spot to kind of close out on. Adding a little layer to these last little prints. In case you don't know, my Etsy shop, I have a Instagram account for it. It's called The Artisan's Cash. And on it, I am giving away each of the new stencils I created, recently listed in Etsy, on Etsy. So if you find me out there, I'll type it in here just so you know. I don't know the link. Let me see. Let me find the actual Instagram link. Instagram. And I'm giving away the stencils. And all you have to do is follow, like the post, and tag a friend. And that will enter you in for a chance to win a stencil. Let's see if this comes up as a link. There we go. So you click on that, follow, like the post that's for the stencils. It's the most recent post, but some other posts will be coming after that. So, oh yeah, I'll definitely put the link in the description, Susie. busy yapping my mouth and let this paint dry on me. Sure did. I sure did let that dry. Let it dry on me. But I can't waste this nice layer, so I shall add another and pull it, and then I'll have another card. And I'll mix that with teeny bit of white, teeny bit of unbleached titanium. Don't be it. Okay. See what this looks like. Might be a hot mess. You don't know until you try. Gotta experiment with color palettes, color combos. And when you find one, oh, it's amazing. Can't even really see mix those colors up too much. I don't think you can see them. Hey, Zandra. Susie, you said you've had some luck lifting with gel medium. Yeah, the gel medium's nice for keeping a clear background. I think I'm gonna have to dedicate a plate for using gel medium because I don't know. It seemed like it may have dried my plate out. I think after a few pulls, I pulled it all up and my plate was back to normal. But I think it gave me some dry spots on my plate. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see the bleached titanium, unbleached titanium, and morning mist in there. Not too bad. Not too bad. So remind me again what I was doing while I was doing this. I was trying to add more blue to this, wasn't I? And now that I think about it, I might not want more blue. But here we go anyway. Where's my blue? Payne's gray. Payne's gray on the stencil. This is like, this is what happens when you become like the mad printer. And I think that, oh, here. The stencil fell off the table. But nope, I've got it. Holy cow. Here we go. Gotta move quick because I didn't put a lot of paint down. There we go, that's that part. This is kind of dark, but it should show up. I'm actually going to print this whole thing on here. And then okay, that's that. Done with this. Done with this. Done with this. Move some stuff out of the way. Don't want that anymore. Decided. I don't know if I want to even bother stamping now. What do you guys think? Do you think it needs a stamp before we jump off of here? Let's just take this off the table altogether. Gotta make some room here. Let's see, what are we talking about in here? Zandra, I'm making these prints for cards. We've got a few cards done earlier. This is one of my digital papers that I put some paint on. This is a print, a 5x7 print that I printed horizontally and cut and made into 2 cards. And on the inside, I'm putting little, tape doesn't want to stick. On the inside, I'm putting little tabs, like these are strips, so that you can remove the sentiment and the person who received it from me can add another sentiment in there and mail it off to whoever they want to send it to. And that way the card gets a little extra love. So this one I used little triangles. I saw this on, I think it's her most recent video, but it's the Frugal Crafter. This one has had a square in there, but I took it out. Put one in there just so you can see. I think it was what, a little under 2x2. We'll do 1 3/4. My cutter does not like me today. Snagging on thin paper. So yeah, this was a little mat I made using the We Are Memory Keeper apparatus. It's been a little hard getting the paper in there without using an X-Acto knife to kind of lift, but get it in there. Scooch it over. So yeah, got this little mat. So I had 3 ways to stick the paper in there, the sentiment in there. A mat, strips, and triangles. So I've been really having fun with that. And so these were prints that I made, that I pulled from the plate I used as the palette for these prints. So this was the palette that I pulled making these 2. And so I just added another layer of white on there. And I'll probably still go in here maybe with a darker color and do some arsenic writing in a dark, a really dark blue, because I have either black or I have, is this it? No, that's regular gray. Slate gray in Posca, which is my favorite color of Posca. Slate gray. It's a nice dark muted blue. So that might look nice across there. Still haven't decided. I might emboss with white. I don't know, I'll probably do that off camera because I don't know where my embossing powder is. I know it's here. I know I brought it over to the apartment. And I'm not sure I brought the right embossing pad. So, yep, these were the prints that I pulled to demo the stencils that I listed in my Etsy shop. Those are 3x5. These are 4x7, the actual design. The stencil themselves, the stencil material is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. And this is another one. And this one. This is the stencil right here. So yep, that's what we were doing. Decided to make some cards, and now I've got actually 4 of them done. Possibly 4 more that can be done really quickly. And I have a huge pile of prints that hopefully will be just as easy. Just as easy to turn into cards. Tons of prints. I don't remember even what those came from. Some of them are junk prints. Some of them experiments gone wrong. Most of these are experiments gone wrong in this little batch. This is my first ever image resist print that I pulled from an InStyle magazine. So I'm going to have to find something to do with her. Oh, these were from a video that I posted on YouTube last year sometime, where I pulled the print up with adhesive paper. Scrapbook paper that has adhesive on the back. So yeah, tons and tons and tons of prints that I can hurry up and maybe make. A lot of these are just pulls from the plates when I use them as palettes. Grungy goodness. That as whole look a mess, but when I cut them up and put them on a card, like this one, this will look nice cut up and on a card. This was an experiment, Posca pins on the gel plate. This will look nice cut up and on a card. So yeah, tons of card making paper to work with. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about it. Let's see, what are you guys saying here? So I was telling everyone else, Sandra, that if I'm just making these cards just to send out. So if you want to receive one, you can send me a DM on Instagram with your address or P.O. box, or you can email me at creationsbyjcherie@gmail.com. Yeah, I always, even before this happened, I would do, the envelope art, or I would decorate the boxes that I'd send out to people. And I always wondered what the postal workers think when they see envelopes and boxes decorated by us artsy people. Oh yeah, Xandra, the Post-it notes, that's a good idea too. Definitely want to start making I think I pretty much want to make all my cards like reusable. I think that was a really good idea. And I don't know why they all aren't like that. Because some people just, you have that other half, I think, who just throw cards away. So, instead of throwing away, hold on to it. And next time you have to send a card, just send this one. I think that's a good concept. Thanks, Sandra. I was trying to earlier record the color palette to put in my color palette book, but the colors kept bleeding off the roller for some reason, and usually doesn't do that. But I've been writing them down on the pre-cut papers that I have, just so I can, when I get around to it, I can put them in my color palette book, which I must have thrown somewhere because I don't see it. And I have all these Strathmore mixed media books. And I have one especially for color palettes. And yeah, so I've just been writing on the papers that I use to put in there, and just been sticking them in there, and I get back to them later and swatch out the colors for the palettes, just so I don't forget. Yeah, I think I should try doing some collage postcards. Like I said, I want to get into collaging, but it's kind of, I just don't know where to start. I just feel overwhelmed. Like, if I have all these papers and cutting shapes, but I guess like with anything, you just got to jump in. All the way to the left, my stencil. This stencil has been in my shop for a while. It's just been at the 5x7 size. So I just recently updated the listing to offer it in the 9x12. So the stencils, the actual design size, this isn't 9x12. This is actually 8.5x11, just so I can easily put it into my binder with all my stencils. But when I sell it, the listing is a 9x12 stencil sheet, and the design itself is 8.5 by like 11.5. So, let's see, I can't find the sample that I created with the 5x7, but I'll show you a picture of it. So this is the 5x7 using the 5x7 of this stencil. So I know people like to work with larger stencils. So now I've created the 9x12. Zandra, the name of my shop is actually in my, now that I think about it, it's in the description box. It's the Artisan's Cash. So if you look in the description box of this stream or any of my YouTube posts, you'll see a link to my Etsy shop. And I also think the link is on my About tab for my YouTube channel. So yep, that's I think we're done for today. And looks like right at about 3 hours, which has been I've been pretty consistent with that. I'm surprised. When I first started doing this streaming, I could barely do 1 hour. So now I've been talking for 3 whole hours. Crazy. Pam! Hey, Pam! Pam! You finally made it. But you only got about 5 or 10 more minutes. I was just answering any questions I saw in the chat. But we spent the chat making cards. I've been showing the new stencils. And yeah, worked with a color palette that I was fancying last night. I got trolled by my son. You missed that. Oh, yeah, okay. Everybody's in the garden today. I feel bad like that I don't like gardening. I love, love, love flowers. The colors, the smells, all that. I love driving by homes who have taken the time to put out stuff. Like, oh, that's great curb appeal. But I'm not going to do it myself, and that's only because of the bugs. Um, yeah, Susie. Actually, I should be used to speaking for hours because I used to be a trainer as well. And it would be all day talking. But that was probably 10 years ago. And I don't do much talking now. I just work behind a computer. Oh, Xandra. Yeah, the only thing I don't like are the bugs. Actually, I'm pretty good with flowers and plants. Oh, homegrown tomatoes? Yeah, that's nice. I don't really, I don't, I, let's see, I've grown strawberries. I've tried to grow a watermelon. That's insane. You should only do that if you like have an acre to waste because, of course, they take over everything. I've grown something else. I can't remember what it is. But yeah. Susie, I guess with this, it's just weird because I'm not receiving that feedback that I can hear, and it's hard to keep up with the chat. Um, but I'm getting accustomed to it. It just felt weird talking to myself in this space. But it becomes easier when I have you guys to chat with in the chat. Um, but yeah. So if you missed anything, of course, you can always go to the replay, skip, fast forward, replay, all that good stuff. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I'll probably be posting pictures of these cards on my Facebook page. Well, I usually do it on Instagram, and then it auto posts on my Facebook page. And then, of course, if you guys know me from the gel printing groups, I'll be posting them in there. Do you stream, Susie? And Pam, I don't know if you were on when I said this, but if I'm going to be making quite a few cards, and if you want to receive one of them, then you can just message me on Instagram with your address or PO box, and I'll gladly drop one in the mail to you. And I think you know about the. I think I saw you like the post for the giveaway on the Artisan Cash Instagram. So you have a great Saturday too, Lynn. We're getting ready to get off of here. As you can see, the sun is making its way around to the other side of my window. So that's just my cue to get off. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll do this again next Saturday. Oh, Susie, just anything. If you print, you don't have to be, in it for years to post what you're doing. A lot of people like to learn with you. So if you're printing and you feel like you're still learning, or if you do cards, there's so much out on YouTube, and there's room for everybody and anything. So just set you up. If you got a smartphone, that'll work. and just record. And don't worry about being perfect when you start.